Canada didn't even have a space agency in those days. He became the first Canadian to operate the Canadarm, the first Canadian to walk in space, and the first Canadian to command the International Space Station.
As the most forward-deployed citizens of the planet at this moment, being the first expedition crew aboard Space Station Alpha, we are well started on our journey of exploration and discovery, building a foothold for men and women who will voyage and with us far away from our home planet. We are opening the gateway to space for all humankind.
As we orbit the planet every 90 minutes, we see a world without borders and send our wish that all nations will work toward peace and harmony. Our world has changed dramatically. Still, the ISS is physical proof that nations can work together in harmony to promote peace and global cooperation and reach goals that are simply out of this world.
Big night, right to share our good fortune of this great mission. Our magnificent time is regained on the earth of humanity, and our strong sense that human spirit will do to explore, to discover, and knowledge.
Times are hard all over the world, but this is a time when we can all think about being together and treasuring our planet. And we have a pretty nice view of it up here.
Now, our next speaker became a worldwide sensation, harnessing the power of social media to make outer space accessible to everyone, everywhere. He opened our eyes and made us curious about the wonders of our universe. Always patient and good-natured, his down-to-earth personality endeared him to everyone. On his final day aboard the space station last May, he posted an extraordinary music video. His version of David Bowie's Space Oddity has garnered almost 18 million YouTube views today and is still viewed more than 10,000 times a day. After serving his country for 35 years, he retired last July. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to introduce a beloved Canadian who has truly soared to international acclaim, Commander Chris Hadfield.
Thank you very much. Merci énormément. C'est absolument un plaisir d'être ici avec vous, avec tous. Merci Claude pour ça. Comme Canadien, je suis tellement fier d'être un participant d'un voyage, une exploration, un effort comme ça. It's just wonderful to be here. And thank you very much for the introduction, Claude. I appreciate it. To speak to Canadians from coast to coast to coast is a real pleasure and an honor for me. And I brought some pictures to show you and a couple videos, because in this last year I got to do some really cool stuff. But I want to just talk about what it's like to ride a rocket ship. Let's say today you are going to go to space. When you wake up in the morning, the clothes that you get out of the closet and pull on, that the technician helps put on your body, these are the clothes you're going to leave Earth with. I've been lucky enough to do that 3 times. So, today we're going to space. Here's how it goes. You wake up, You don't eat too much because whatever you eat, you might be seeing again soon. So you keep the meal light. You start getting dressed. You're going to be locked inside an orange pressure suit called the launch and entry suit, or the pumpkin suit. You're going to be locked inside it for several hours. So the very first garment you put on is a diaper. But it's a big boy pull-up diaper. It's not... And Johnson & Johnson put little blue and pink astronauts on it for us. So they look really nice. And then you put on all the extra clothes that might protect you if you had to jump out of the space shuttle during launch and parachute down and land in the Atlantic. Which we're dressed for that. We wear a parachute, we wear the whole thing. In fact, if the shuttle had a problem during ascent, we would blast the hatch off the side, crawl our way downstairs, clip onto a pole, and then hurl ourselves out. And if you just hurled yourself out, you'd actually go out and whap into the wing of the shuttle like Wile E. Coyote. So instead, they actually have this telescoping pole that came out, so you leapt out, and it would drag you down a little bit. So with luck, you would just go underneath the wing, and then fall down, and hopefully someone would see you in your bright orange suit and your blue and pink diapers out there. You get down this elevator, you ride out to the pad, and everyone else is moving away from the pad, because it is a multi-million-pound bomb that you are about to get on top of and light. And so you drive out with your crew, ride the elevator up, one by one, you go down into the white room, they suit you up in your final suit, you crawl hands and knees into the shuttle, because it's like a minivan sitting up on its rear end, so the seats are 90 degrees out, so you gotta crawl in off the back and climb up into your seat, lay down on your back, knees above your chest, sort of like the birthing position, and ready to launch. You're laying on all the stuff that would keep you alive, so it's not comfortable. They actually give you a little nice lumbar pad, because you know, we're old fighter pilots and we have bad backs, and so you got this little lumbar pad with a little thing you can blow up. So I lay there and I'm going, hey, the lumbar pad. So I blew it up, and then I let the air out of it. It really didn't do anything, but I got something to play with while you're sitting there in the pad waiting to go. And then I had a little nap, because I knew I was going to be busy later, so I thought I'd rest up for the events that were about to happen. And then finally, after all that, after what was a busy day already, but was really a busy life already, it's time to launch. And the 2 times I flew on the space shuttle, it looked like this.
12, 11, 10, 9, start, 2, 1, boost ignition,
It's a great ride. The most capable flying machine ever built. And my background is as a pilot and a fighter pilot. I flew CF-18s as a test pilot. Everything pales in comparison to what the shuttle could do. An amazing vehicle. It took about 8 minutes and 40 seconds from sitting on the pad, playing with your lumbar pad inflator thing, to suddenly being weightless in orbit, going 8 kilometers a second. In just about the length of time I've been standing here talking, we all could have been in orbit. That's about how long it takes. But I started dreaming about it when I was a kid. And in fact, this was my first spaceship right here. It was the Instant Quaker Oats 215 spaceship. And as was mentioned in the introduction, I consciously made the decision on July 20th, 1969, that when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut. Because that's the day that Neil and Buzz climbed out of their lunar lander and stepped on the surface of the moon. The first human beings to do that. And, you know, I was 9. What did I know? But I did recognize that it was pretty unlikely. I also recognized that it was impossible for a Canadian. We did not have astronauts. We didn't have a space agency. There wasn't one Canadian role model. There was no way to do this. You had to be a Soviet like Yuri Gagarin or an American like John Glenn or something in order for this to happen. But I figured, hey, I'm just a kid, and up until this morning, nobody could walk on the moon. So all I can really control, I can't control the world space agencies. I can't control what happens way beyond my sphere of influence, but I can get myself ready. So that's what I started doing. I decided astronauts fly. So I joined the Air Cadets and learned how to fly gliders and then powered airplanes. I went to 3 different universities. I joined the Air Force test pilot. And then finally, in 1992, there was an ad. I don't know if you saw it or not, but in the papers, right just before the internet, there was an ad in the newspapers that said, "Wanted astronauts." Unfortunately, I noticed the ad in the newspaper, and all you needed to be was a Canadian citizen, be able to pass a medical, and have a university degree. And so I applied with about 300 other people, went through the most agonizing 5 months of my life as those little 9-year-old boys' dreams were getting closer and closer to the test. And finally got that phone call back in '92 that started the adventure that led to me last December putting on this Russian spacesuit and being the pilot of the Russian Soyuz. An amazing, unlikely sequence of events, but that actually are the history of what happened. But there's all sorts of parallels. Of course, just within easy living memory of many adults.